Hello and welcome to Dynamic Disruptors. We're here again, Caroline. So exciting. Um, yeah. So we're inspiring elite conscious CEOs, innovators, and visionary disruptors to explore the nuance and the power of self-mastery, energy, consciousness through the lens of personal expression, business, legacy achievements. And today our topic is, I think, really interesting, the untethering from logic. So I'm really excited about this. How are you feeling, Caroline?
I'm feeling great. It's always a new topic to me, but yes, I think that's a very interesting one.
Yeah, I love it. You're always so sweet about it. Like let's do this, and we're rolling here. I think this is a really powerful powerful topic. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm a metaphysical advisor and mentor. And we are going to talk about really architecting our reality, and where do wild quantum leaps come from, right? Like this is something I love to talk about. And I really want to hear, Caroline, your perspective around this as well, because being tethered to logic actually is great, right? We do things in a linear way. A lot of our people have achieved success by working from logic. And of course, our mind is a powerful thing, but there's this whole other realm that we kind of leave out, right? If we are only working in, the sphere of logic.
Yeah, I totally agree. And for those who don't know me either, I'm Caroline Letrange, and I'm a private travel agent, and I run a travel agency specialized in luxury villa rentals, where I welcome coaches and entrepreneurs to retreats in beautiful villas. So to jump on the topic, I think that's very interesting, because when we're tethered to logic only, I think we create boundaries and we set ourselves in one kind of creation. So we rely only on logic or analytics or the data we receive. And nowadays we have so much data that we need to ingest to make decisions. So I think it limits the creativity and the innovation, and we become less predictable. What do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Beautifully articulated. Really, it's the when we tap into, right, the intuitive realm, this infinite realm. I like to call it the infinite data of your genius, or the universe, or whatever your belief is that we are able to extract a different kind of data that allows us to really move in a very new way. I love how you mentioned innovation, because that is it. I've actually seen clients really stuck in a point, right? They're at a plateau, and they're like, I actually really feel this intuitively. They have a feeling, and they want to experience something different. And there's a choice, right? There's the fork in the road. Either you choose to follow that, or you don't. And a lot of people don't, because that next step isn't really a step. It's like a leap. It makes absolutely no sense. I've watched people move from like entirely different industries that if they were to stay, they would have been frustrated, bored, whatever progress they were making would be incredibly slow. Whereas when they trusted that intuitive hit of their genius and took the leap, I really believe the quantum leap requires you to actually leap, right? You take that leap of faith, you do the thing that seems absolutely illogical, and then like boom, all of a sudden your entire reality repixelates. So this is where I love to place. I love how you articulated that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hi, Alonso.
I
We have some people commenting. I just wanted to say hi. Please do comment. Let us know if you have questions. Any future topics you want us to talk about, let us know.
fantastic. Well, I do follow you on that. I think the human brain is totally wired to seek patterns, and we try to rely on logical structures. And I think it gives us a sense of control and predictability, especially in the workspace, or when uh, when you are an entrepreneur, innovator, you try to put limits on what you can do and not do. But the time collapse you're talking about, I think, is very interesting, because it creates it helps to create significant progress in a very short period of time. It's, to me, thinking outside the conventional boundaries, trying to synthesize a vast amount of data, as we talked before, but those information should be processed by your gut feeling, what you're experiencing in your environment, and not to be too linear in your behavior, and not to be too predictable. And relying on intuition is something really not conventional in the world of business. But I think this is getting more and more out there, because these quantum leaps or time collapse helps you suddenly to achieve much quicker than what you would expect with conventional datas or information.
Yeah, that 1000%. Yeah, that is once again beautifully said. And that's definitely my realm of where what I see is when we've relied so much on logic, and then we reach that plateau, and it's like, I'm doing the things, and why is it not shifting? Why am I not getting there? There's a desire for the time collapse, but that one, I don't like to say there's a missing ingredient, but yeah, part of that is actually trusting, right? That this is the whole the experience of trusting your intuition enough to be able to hold that tension of, I've made this decision, it is non-linear, it doesn't make any sense, but I'm going to trust this 1000%. And it's those people who achieve, right, that accelerated progress, that have the new ideas, who have experience. Like I've actually had conversations where that people who move in the intuitive realm and the logical realm, like who work in industries that are extremely data driven, they were saying that this is the difference between $100,000 a year and $1 million a year, and that is huge, because you have two people with the same background approach a problem, and one person cannot figure it out, or multiple people actually could not figure that out that particular problem. And this guy comes in, he's like, wait, I'm at night, I'm connecting to myself, and I'm getting these downloads and these dreams and whatever, it's wild, and then goes in and solves a problem like that, where like 10 people couldn't solve it, that kind of experience. And it's like, what is this, right? I'm not even interested in explaining it. It's like, this is a beautiful tool. Where does this come from, right? And experiencing that and actually utilizing that for your business, for your legacy goals is absolutely such a powerful thing. But first, we have to trust it, right?
Yeah, I do agree. I think it's very powerful what you're saying, and I would like to give an example, because I had a question from after our first live, from someone who was asking me, you're advertising, promoting luxury villas for uh, holidays, or coaches, wellness people to go on retreats and etc. Why are you connecting to Lauren, and what's the goal about it? So I thought the question was very interesting, actually. And
I love it.
yeah, well, this is the trust thing. And I replied, and I want to reply live here. And I said, that's a matter of trust. Sometimes we make decisions that might not follow the logical sequence of things, but I'm an entrepreneur, and myself as well. I hit ceilings. I have fears. I want to rely on the patterns that I've always followed, on the data that comes from my streams and my social media, or my all the things you tap into to get reliable information. And here with you, I thought there was a very strong gut feeling to say, Caroline, if you step into this, even if it's the first time you're doing that, even if you're completely frozen by fear in some ways, and it's not your realm of expertise because you're not navigating in a really well-known environment, but you have something to say, please say it, because some entrepreneurs that come to you one-on-one, that will never be shown, that will stay in their environment behind the cameras, can probably relate to what I'm fearing right now, to try to make this time collapse by taking decisions only based on the gut feeling I had the first time I met you, to jump into this unknown and make things happen. And I think that's beautiful. It's totally facing uncertainty. It's an intuitive leap that I'm starting to enjoy. And I hope the entrepreneur that see our live would take me not as a host that have to share fully something, but as someone who's opening her book and say, well, I'm like you guys, I'm fearful. I know the logic, I know the data, but now I think there's another way of seeing or approaching business, which is more from the inside than the outside.
So good. So good. Thank you for sharing that. And yeah, it's the same where I remember when we met, it was like, well, we'll just do this. I'm like, sure. I didn't even question it. Like, it just, this is how this works. And already, I mean, number one, it's friendship. And we've already had such incredible feedback around this. And we actually have a question here. Before, I know we're going to try and cap it, but we should grab this question too. But yeah, this kind of experience, right, of just trusting this and trusting this process and watching how these little portals open that we never would expect. Like at first, if you were looking at it logically, well, does this make sense? Like, I don't end up questioning it anymore. It's like, oh, sure, this felt really good in my body. It was a hell yes, let's go. And we've already created something incredible. And I think that's the whole point of calling this like dynamic disruptors, because it's a pattern interrupt, right? So thank you for sharing that. I think that really speaks to what we're doing here and the topic. So amazing. Should we take that?
Yeah, the topics are great, and I hope that some entrepreneurs will embrace this uncertainty to make profound discoveries, not only in product discoveries, but discoveries in themselves, in their teams, and then they can achieve extraordinary achievements and more feel right and attuned with their intuitiveness. I don't know if it's the right word, but yeah, I think aligning with yourself, it would be, and trusting yourself, achieving something outside your boundaries would be the great thing to ingest.
Beautiful. Wow. So good. So happy to be here. Oh, we have wonderful comments here. I don't know if you can see them, Caroline. Thank you, Alanka. That's really beautiful. We have a question. Maybe take 1 minute for the question. Olia says, in your experience, attending retreats in luxurious spaces is more of a logical or a visceral decision? So are attending retreats in luxurious spaces more a logical or visceral decision? Do you want to take that?
That's a good question. Such a good
It
question.
is, of course.
I think the fact that the villas are sometimes in another country, in another place, in another realm, in another culture, to me is something which is absolutely gives me adrenaline and goosebumps. I like the travel, and the visceral part of it is just, yeah, it's just there. It just, let's try something new, somewhere different with other people. And then the second part of it was logical. That's it. That's the second part
Yeah,
of the
but with
question.
logical or visceral. Maybe
Uh,
it's of
I
both.
think because logical, it comes when you have entrepreneurs that come to those retreats. They come with an agenda. So we're going to meet the team, we're going to think about that, or we have a product launch, or we're going to restructure, or we're going to do team building, or each time you have a new pattern. But I realize, and it's very, very funny, that each time as it's mostly 7 days. So each time they embrace the uncertainty and the new feelings, the new atmosphere, and the agenda just poof, breaks totally. And it becomes really, they're taking more steps into trusting each other, into taking more leaps into talking to each other or interacting or being disruptors between each other. And this is the logical part that comes, and then open up to something different. And then that's why we talked last time. When they come back, well, they can hanker to you and say, well, I need Lauren to get back to something a little bit more logical sometimes, or disruptive, and hang up on something that is totally disruptive and help us to embrace all this. So I think there's no one or the other, the two mixed together, as long as you find a balance. Balance is important.
Yep. Beautiful. That's it. I don't think I could add anything to that. I wholeheartedly agree. I love that. I think coming back from the retreat, yeah, there's that. But going there, being in that space, having a new experience, there's also a level of trust, right? And I love the fact that you brought up how there's a very clear intention, and then sometimes it's just a poof, like, okay, no, we're in this. Yes, our patterns have been disrupted. We are now in a new experience, and being able to once again trust that kind of illogical, like we're throwing away the rule book now, to actually create something better and more powerful. So great question and great answer. Thank you guys for joining us for this. Was amazing. This is only our second one, but I feel like we've been doing this forever. It's so good.
Oh, that's nice.
All
I
right.
really, and I hope people will keep on interacting and asking questions even after the live. Just DM us, ask questions, because we read them and we love what you can share with us, and it helps us to build more content and be more proactive with you. If you're proactive with us, I think it's a conversation here. So that's why we're two here, but we feel that there's a bigger family around us that can interact with us and bring some topics out there that would be super fantastic to talk to.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Please be in touch and let us know if you have questions, and you know where to find the both of us. And we'll see you again next week for Dynamic Disruptors. Thank you guys. And thank you, Caroline. This was amazing.
Bye bye.